this stimulus package is going to affect them. So the first one we'll talk to is Karen. We'll introduce Karen first. Karen McDonald has an accounting firm, and you also help legal practices. You've got two different businesses. Tell us a little bit more, Karen.
Hi, Kevin, and welcome everyone to the Brisbane Small Business Show. Yes, I run Cascade Accounting and Tax, and I have a startup business, WiseR Legal Practice Management. So I'm very much in the small business space. Cascade Accounting and Tax is the business we want to highlight today, and we help people stay compliant in a tax effective way. We want to add value to our clients. Compliance isn't the be all and end all, but it's certainly being on the right side of compliance and making sure everything's tax effective and you get the best benefit is part of our DNA.
Absolutely. And this stimulus package obviously affects every small business that we have. So, it's something that, and I don't think they've finished with their announcements either. I think there's going to be more to come. At the same time, we've actually got Lee Hollis. Now, Lee Hollis owns Lodestar Electrical and Air Conditioning. Lee?
Yeah, that's right, mate. Yeah, electrical and air conditioning company based in... Yeah, you keep dropping out now. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you keep on.
Yeah, you keep dropping out. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on now. This is just bad luck, isn't it? Can you hear me okay, Kevin?
If you keep talking, that would be great.
Okay, so electrical contracting business based in Chermside, predominantly residential with a small bit of commercial. So everything from your mums and dads we take care of, family homes, and then air conditioning as well. On the commercial side of things, a few jobs in the city and bits and pieces like that, really.
Fantastic. Now, you had a couple more staff until recently. Is that right?
Yeah, so I've used, over the last year, I've been using subcontractors and casuals quite a lot, but, I noticed about 3 weeks ago the calls just started to taper off and the work started to get a bit quiet. So I've really gone into preserving what I have for myself and my apprentice. I've just had to, say to these guys, look, I'm really sorry. This is the situation, and everybody's aware of the situation, so there's no... nobody's, upset because there's no work, but everybody understands it's just the situation that we're in.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to let you and Karen talk mainly, and I'll just stand here and nod most of the time. So you've got some specific questions around this for Karen, yeah?
Yes, I do. Yes, I just have, I'm just a trader. I'm the guy on the tools with, and I'm trying to keep up with what's going on in the news as well as running my business at the same time. And I suppose the first and foremost question would be the assistance package for employers with employees, and how do I work out if I can claim for that and how much I can claim for that?
Okay, well, that's a really good question. First up, with your subcontractors, you've probably done the smart thing because there's no stimulus packages available for subcontractors at the moment, and they, as subcontractors, will be able to access their own benefits. Now, just looking at the main stimulus package, that is a package in the form of PAYG withholding incentives. So if you are deducting $5,000 from your employees in the March, April, May, June BAS or IAS, 100% of what you've withheld from your staff will not be payable by you. You'll put it on your BAS and just say you've got 10,000 GST, 5,000 you've withheld from staff, you will only have to pay the 5,000 in GST. So you will immediately be credited, wiped off the slate, the 5,000 that you've withheld from wages. On the flip side, the staff will still get the credit for that in their 2020 tax returns. So that's part one. So if you're an incorporated company or trading as a trust, that will apply to your apprentice, that will apply to you, and it will apply to your wife. If you're a sole trader, it would only apply to the apprentice. Okay? Now, the second part of that is once you've lodged your June BAS, 1/4 of what they've given you and what we just described will then be given to you in the next June, July, August, September activity statements. So you're going to get a maximum of 50,000, and then 1/4 of what you got will be given to you after the end of June.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the first part. That's the first two parts. The other part that you might be really interested in is the subsidy for apprentice wages. Now, at the moment, that is only available for existing apprentices. And the federal government is offering to pay 50% of your apprentice wages. Now, I've been talking to my local member about how to access that. I've also asked him about new apprenticeships, and I'm waiting for an answer on that. I will be posting all of the information I've got so far up on the Brisbane Small Business blog, hopefully by the end of today. We don't have the full details on how to access the apprentice incentive yet. As soon as I've got them, I will put a subsequent post up.
Would you know, is there any clarification of employment status of your apprentice? Because you can have an apprentice as part-time. So would you still be able to claim if you have a part-time apprentice, or do they have to be full-time?
I can double check on that. I can't imagine that part-time is going to change anything, but certainly I will check on that and I can come back to you with a definitive answer.
That's great, thank you.
But nothing I've read has indicated full-time or part-time.
Okay.
Now, you were talking about some loans before. What do you want to know around those?
No, sorry, you dropped out then. So I just had another question about the government offering loans to small businesses. My first question is, how would that be delivered? And you know, how long is the interest-free period, and what would be the interest after that interest-free period is over?
Okay, now this one was really quite fascinating. The support for the flow of credit is what the government are calling it. So there's guaranteed lending of up to 40 billion. That's what the government are offering all of our community. They're guaranteeing unsecured loans of 50% of the total value to small business. So if you go to your bank and say, I need $100,000 in working capital, the government will guarantee 50% of that. So that means you don't have to offer the security, and they're actually saying they want them to be unsecured. And the interesting thing I read in the fine print was they want you to go to your current bank. They want the banks to loan to their existing customers. And what I was seeing that was around is so you don't have to go through and introduce yourself. They've got your history, all that sort of stuff. It's to try and cut the red tape. Now, the outworking of these loans, you had to have less than 50 million turnover, which most of us do. The maximum loan is 250,000 per borrower. You have up to 3 years to repay this with a 6 months repayment holiday. So from when you take it out, which is between now and the 30th of September, you don't have to pay anything back for 6 months. It's unsecured finance, so you don't have to mortgage your house again or anything crazy like that. And the other flexible benefit is you don't have to take it. So if you get a loan in place for $250,000 and you draw down $50,000 to keep paying your wages and your rent of your shed, then that's all you're paying the interest on.
Okay.
So the interest rate is going to be what you negotiate and they're looking to people taking finance with their existing lenders. They're also waiving some of the responsible lending obligations for small business customers. So the government is saying, okay, we've given you all these rules about how strict you have to be with finance. We're waiving all that. We're putting it on hold. We just want you to push out some money. And because of that, we're going to guarantee 50% of it. So I think that's pretty attractive. They're going to start early April with the new loans, and they'll be available until the 30th of September. Kevin, you've got big smiles there.
I always do. So really exciting times from an interest rate perspective. I was speaking to a mortgage broker just before I got on the phone with you guys. He was talking about one of the big four banks actually having mortgage rates down at 2.19% if you fix it for 3 years right now. So, I can't imagine that's going to go much lower than that ever. So, very good opportunity for people to be fixing in at 2.19% for the next 3 years. And if you've got, if you're accumulating extra money, save that and then smash it off the loan as soon as that comes up, because you're not going to get much better interest rate than that anyway.
Absolutely.
So there's some really special deals on the finance side of things. The government are putting a lot of pressure on the banks to make sure that they are freeing up money rather than they're just grabbing and holding on to, because without money does make the world go round. The reason that the government's putting this stimulus package in is they can see how precarious all of these drastic measures are for small business owners, and they know that if they don't help small business owners, many of them would go broke. And if they do go broke, with us employing 45% of the working population, if half of small business went broke, all of a sudden we got 20% extra unemployment on top of the 5% that we've already got. These are the things that the government's really concerned about. They are looking to create full employment, and they're looking to do everything they possibly can. A couple of other measures that they have at the moment is they're waiving the liability of directors for trading insolvent. So if you are in financial difficulty, they are going to give you the opportunity to try and trade out of that. So, look at these measures and go, hey, don't be a cowboy, but at the same time, the government understand that we are about to fall on some hard times. There are potentially some difficulties, there are likely to be some difficulties ahead, and they're trying to help us the best way they possibly can.
They've also given business 6 months to reply to a bankruptcy notice instead of 21 days.
Yeah.
And that is giving people some time to plan and some time to negotiate around it.
Yeah. So, so it's really important that we keep as positive an attitude as possible, right? That's the one thing I want in this group.
Absolutely.
Is that we try and look for the opportunities that are there instead of all the tales of woe and dread and hardship and all that sort of stuff. Because, look, we know that times are tough.
And if you are in trouble, reach out to somebody.
Please.
Even if it's picking one of the accountants in the group and saying, hey, I think I'm in trouble. Can I have...
We just lost the sound there for a second, Karen. I'm not sure what happened. As soon as you are back, just keep talking. As soon as Karen's back. So, and if not your accountant, go to your doctor and have a chat with your doctor, because then they can get you a mental health plan, once again, with some government subsidies and that sort of stuff. So they can help you get help if you're feeling anxious or under excessive stress. If you are feeling that you're falling to anxiety or depression, please go straight to your doctor and seek help, right? The one thing I want everyone to be doing is go to experts in the field. Rather than listening to all the hearsay around, please listen to the experts in the field. Karen?
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah, go to experts. Don't go to the barbecue or the virtual barbecue. Yeah, we need to be really careful that we are seeking expert advice, because this is the time where experts in every field are going to add value to your business. And make an appointment with people. Ask, can you have a 15-minute or a 30-minute complimentary conversation with somebody? You'd be amazed what you can get out of those. And, I think we're seeing a lot of help out there in the community. Yes, everybody needs to be paid. Everybody needs to pay their bills as well. But, if we can all just offer a small snippet to, get some sort of game plan going and work out the way forward, it's better than lying awake at night trying to sort it out yourself.
Absolutely. Lee, how are you feeling?
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, well, I'm under the same stress as most small, all tradies, I guess, really, just talking to my colleagues and other people in the industries and various builders and that, they're all feeling the pinch now, and families, kids to look after, and the pressure that goes with providing. It's testing times, and the support has been fantastic. Everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's offering help and advice, and clearly get the advice from the right people. So it's comforting to know it's there if you want it. It's just, you've got to be able to ask for it and not be afraid to ask for it.
The building industry was already slowing down before this virus.
100%.
I've got
100%.
clients with Hutchinson's who've been slowing down since before Christmas. So it's not just the virus. We were already on a downhill path. The economy was struggling.
Yep.
So the current events have just escalated everything and made everything snowball 100 times faster.
Absolutely. Look, I need a drum because I want to keep beating the drum. I have been saying for the last 5 years, if as a small business community, we all worked as much with each other as possible and had less money leaking out of our economy, no matter what happened, we would be largely immune to outside influences. And I'm still going to beat that drum. The more we work together, the more, the stronger all of our businesses will be.
Hi, Australian.
If we can try and look at from a holistic point of view and think, how does this affect the whole community? And think in terms of abundance, that if 8,500 members of our community all started wanting to work with you tomorrow, you're probably not going to be able to cope. So don't be worried about competition in this group, right? Please embrace the fact that you have colleagues in this group that do the same or something similar to what you do, because that is the strength of the community that we have. That if we all start working with and through each other, we will be much stronger. This is why we came to starting the directory within this community, because we knew that as soon as someone throws up a post saying, hey, I need an electrician, they get smashed with 50 different options. And how do I start going to sort through that? I get overwhelmed and I go and ask one of my mates who he uses, and I probably don't even use someone in the group. Please think about joining the directory so that we can more easily, more effortlessly work with each other. Okay, the more of us there are in the directory, the more voice we have, the more time you give me to go and take a lot of these concerns to our local council, to our state politicians, and to our federal politicians. Okay, later on this week, I will actually be speaking to a minister in the federal government about this stimulus package so that he can give the government's perspective on that. There is a post already going, and I'm asking you to put questions in there. We will be advising him of questions beforehand. We're not going to try and hide any and shock him, because we want the best quality answers possible. So if you have questions, do not use that post for bagging politicians. If you do, it'll be deleted, right? Use it to ask questions about how can we benefit most from what is there and what else is coming up, and to raise different points. You know, the government in their very first stimulus package, they didn't think of people who were self-employed or who were not working under a company structure. In the second package, they've thought about that. There will be more packages coming. That's one thing that we can promise you. So with that, please think on the positive side of how could we, instead of just complaining. It takes no mental energy to complain. It does take a lot to think about the right questions. So let's start doing that as a community. Let's think about the right questions and look for how we can benefit from the stimulus package that is there, how we can benefit from working with each other so that we can all remain stronger. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Fabulous.
Look, I'm going to let Karen get back to finish writing that blog because it's something that we all want to read. I'm sure about that. I'll make sure we share it into the community as quickly as possible. If you do have other questions for either Lee or for Karen, put them in the comments below here. That's the problem with I'm going in the wrong direction. Put them in the comments below. I'll get these guys to drop back in a bit later on and answer some of the questions that you may have for them personally. And Lee, Karen, we are here for you, and these guys are here for everyone in the community as well. So thank you very much for taking the time to listen to us today.
Thanks,
yeah,
Kevin.
much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Cheers.
Bye now.
See you then.